all musicians repeat the same lines over the same chords. And how could they not do that? When I'm listening to all my heroes, all these great players, I'm not thinking so much about why and how they repeat themselves, but more thinking like, how do they sound so great when they are repeating themselves? Why does it not sound boring? It's just a repetition. And how does it never sound like licks when pro players play licks? So if you have difficulties coming up with new ideas or making anything out of the ideas you already have, this is very important for you. And also if you want new ideas on the existing material you already have, it's also very important for you. Because this approach will really give you a solution to get much more out of the material you already playing. We'll jump right into taking your existing licks and making new ideas out of them. We start with this beautiful C minor 7 sound of Hank Mobley. And I promise that we later in the video will take a keen look on Charlie Parker's solos. What sounds like a lick is that Hank Mobley is playing this C minor 7 arpeggio up twice and exactly in the same place in the same solo. But what takes this line out of the lick category is that Hank Mobley changes the line both the times he's playing this C minor 7 beginning. He ends it completely different, though it has some similarities, like the rhythm and the phrasing. So is there a magic trick to this? No, there's not. So the only thing we actually need to know is what are our options, what material can we use where. So Hank Mobley is playing these arpeggios, so of course it's very important to know your arpeggios in the scale, and we'll use this in the licks we are going to build. Of course I would train the arpeggios going up and going down. I would play them with rhythm and all kinds of stuff. In the lesson manual on Patreon you can find all these different versions of the arpeggios going up and down the scale. Of course I've also added all the lines we're talking about in this manual, and I have developed a lot of these lines, a lot of these arpeggios, a lot of the scale lines into real phrases that you can take and add into your playing directly. The lesson manual PDF download link is in the description. Another thing you really need to know is your major scales. Here I'm playing them down from all the scale steps there is. And with this info, it is really as simple as copy pasting. You have a part of your lick, that little C minor arpeggio, and then you just fill out the blanks. Take one of the lines, copy paste it into the lick, take another line, copy paste for the rest of the lick. And then you get these amazing new lines. One of the things you have to be aware of course, are the target notes. Do not sound like the scale, but you have to hit the target notes to get out the function of the chords. So a good thing to think about is having a fair share of the target notes, the chord tones in your playing. So let's try to make a few examples of this, starting with this Hank Mobley C minor arpeggio. And as you see here, I use that F7 line going down. I'm using it from C, or as you can see in the second bar, I'm playing it directly from the A, and then you can see that little part of the line in the previous bar as an approach notes going into that F7 bar. I choose exactly these two scales. The scale from the C and the scale from the A, because they have a really high density of F7 chord tones. And when I have these F7 chord tones, they are on the strong beats. I like that. When you are playing your scales, you can play them in any combination you like. I like to make these small exercises in the scales to get more out of the scale and more new sounds. In this line you see that I'm using this scale material I just made, and I also hit a lot of the target notes, a lot of the chord notes in that F7's chord, and this means I'm playing the function very clear. So using the same material as Hank Mobley, that minor 7 arpeggio going up, does not mean that you sound like a lick. You just have to be creative. You need to change the line that you do not sound the same the whole time. I promised you some Charlie Parker, and here it is. Charlie Parker is on a different level. When he's using these licks, he's both changing the timing and the tonality. So let's look into how he does this. Moving the key seems to be the easy part, because basically you just put numbers on the tones. So what's what? And then you switch the key. In this example I'm going to disregard the difference between minor and major. I'm only playing major, because explaining all the minor, major and all the different tones in minor and major would take a long time. This is for another video. So what Charlie Parker is actually saying is we need to play licks in all 12 keys. And I think that's a really great suggestion for all of us. Take things round in all 12 keys. Moving a pattern around in all 12 keys strengthens your playing all aspects. And when you go through the difficult keys, the easy keys actually become very much easier. Of course, you learn the difficult keys. And of course, the difficult keys become normal. In Charlie Parker's way of playing, one of the licks begins on the 3 and one of the licks begins on the 1 in the bar. In this example, you see that the full bar is A7 going into D. Nothing weird here. So what you want to do is adding stuff to that one bar. So you start one bar before, adding your extra licks to it. I'm starting from that F sharp, running out that E minor 7 chord. Then going directly into the lick. And then there's the thing. When starting moving the lick, you should be prepared that the timing change. I can really recommend you to visualize this. So I'm taking out the parts, writing it down, and then I can see I have one full bar and one beat to fill out with other stuff. So when you start moving stuff in timing, there are two really important things. And one of them, what I just mentioned, visualize the space you have. For putting in your own creative material. So your arpeggios or your scale lines. And then you need to aim for the target note in the lick you are inserting your own lines into. I think the method of borrow, stealing, or really listen to other people's material, take it and add it into your own play is one of the best ways to learn jazz music. And I really want to help you unlock these unlimited ideas you can have by taking one idea and just add more ideas to it which you already have in your vocabulary, like scales and arpeggio. To help you with this, I advise you to check out the lesson manual on Patreon. It's full of scales and arpeggio exercises I have added into small phrases and then made full licks of these. And you can follow the small phrases and you can see I've added different endings to them or beginnings to follow the thread of the lick and then the add-ons. So please let me know if you have any questions. Put it in the comments below or find me on Patreon. The link to the Patreon and the lesson manual PDF is in the description, of course. As a jazz beginner or someone that's looking for new ways to practice, I can really recommend you to check out this video. It's a 3-step manual on how you can approach jazz standards. Play music, have fun.